So I'm not the target market, clearly.
Correct.
Thank God, because I would put myself in a nursing home because my brain is garbledygook. Hey there, hi there, ho there, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kirby Hasseman. Joining me, as always, is your branding bestie, Jade Kreider. Jade, how are you?
I'm good. The sun is shining, and it hasn't for the last couple days because it's rainy season, so I'm excited to see the sunshine.
Absolutely, yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, we were just talking before we got recording. I think something's in the air. My stress level is higher than normal, as so is my lovely bride's, and so it's a little crazy. But that usually means that there's a lot of opportunities floating around, and so we are working on that. So that does bring me joy. So if you are new around here, this is the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. It's brought to you by Hasseman Marketing, where we try to help you elevate your merch and your marketing. And you can learn more about us at hassemanmarketing.com. We've got tools on there if you're in the HR space for hiring. If you want help on marketing, we've got tools at hassemanmarketing.com. Go check it out. Okay. All right. So Jade, as always, you come up, kind of drive the topic bus, and you've got some interesting ones today. You sent me these, and I'm super curious about where they're going to go. I don't even know what my opinions are. So we'll all find out together.
Yeah. So I gave you like a list, and I think we picked our top 3. So we'll probably talk about the rest of them next week. So our first one is going to be all the Swifties in the house are probably very excited. Taylor Swift announced a new album yesterday, I think. I'm going to be honest, I didn't look into it that much. I think she only announced it. I don't think she said when it's coming or anything like that, but Taylor Swift announced that she's doing an album, and I thought we could talk about a little bit just like the marketing behind it, what she did right, things like that.
Yeah. So, and I did hear this, and it was funny because I saw it in my newsletter that we talk about sometimes that I read each morning. It's how I keep up with the news. And so it was in there. But you pointed out to me that she announced it on the New Heights podcast, which with her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, and his brother, Jason Kelce. And for those who are uneducated on this, Jason and Travis are both famous NFL players, Jason being retired, but Travis with the Kansas City Chiefs. So fascinating, right? I mean, when you think about in a world that I grew up in, that Taylor Swift, the biggest pop star on the planet, would announce the new album on 2 football players' podcasts. Like we are in an upside down world.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the video?
I saw a very, very short clip of her holding something up, and it was blurred out.
Yeah, and I don't think they've actually shown it still. Nobody still knows what it looks like, I don't think. But she says, I saw one of the extended clips. I still didn't watch the thing, but she says, because I know that a lot of men are watching this podcast, and what they want right now is to see more of me on their sports.
That's
and
so self-aware.
That was hilarious. I laughed out loud.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I looked at this a couple different ways because you and I have talked about before. Taylor Swift is a genius. Give her any credit for anything. She's a genius and she's stupid talented. Obviously she's stupid talented. Listen to her voice. She writes her own songs, all the things. But she is also a marketing PR genius. There's just no way to put it. And of course, I did a little bit of Googling right before we got started here. And if you look into it, every single thing she does is done with so much thought. Now, when you have that much of a following, you kind of have to. But just even people have, I think it was one of them, I don't know what album, she announced it on the minute that it says in one of the songs or something like that. Just craziness. She puts so much thought into it. I just think she's so intentional with every single thing that she does. And I think it's very intriguing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we've probably talked about this in the past, but when, she didn't have rights to her own music, she re-records the albums. She has multiple number 1 albums at the same time, so that she gained access to it, that she bought it back. She does things really, really brilliantly for sure. And I just thought this was super interesting. And I will say, side note, the Kelce's podcast, the New Heights podcast, really fun, really big. Jason and Travis are big personalities, but with great sense of humors. And I don't think that they would have ever seen this coming, right? When they started
I
doing
think it's
this.
hilarious.
Yeah. And so, but I do love the way Taylor Swift sort of goes around about her business. I think she is incredibly talented. As you said, I don't know. She's a next level thinker. I look at, there are certain celebrities and certain marketers that I think are just playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. And I think she is one of those. I will say that my takeaway from this is that, and I've heard other people say this, but attention is the new currency. Mm-hmm. We talk about, you mentioned that, she has following and she has probably minions who can help her think through this. But at the end of the day, if you have attention, if you have a personal brand that transcends, you can sell things. Like you can monetize that thing. And I think sometimes personal brand is a term that has been like so overdone that we kind of think, oh, yuck or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's attention. And I heard Rory Vaden say that personal brand is just the digitization of your reputation. And when you look at it that way, we all have a reputation. So being intentional and putting that same reputation online intentionally is smart. And when you see these people do it, it's such a masterclass because you pointed it out. The Swifties are going to pay attention.
They're going to find those details.
Yeah. Whereas, the men in the world, whether they, now they know, and it's actually part of the news story that she did it on there. Again, really thoughtful. So I don't know. I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I did think this was really interesting.
Well, the other thing too that I think is interesting that Taylor does is that here's the thing: when you have that big of a following, people are going to speculate and people are going to make up rumors and they're going to make up lies. So she kind of embraces it. The way that she does things, she doesn't give you all the details. And so she's announced that there's a new album, but she hasn't said anything about it. And so people are speculating that she's also going to announce that she's engaged. She's going to announce that she's already secretly married. But it's building hype around the whole, like she embraces it and just utilizes that to make it like even more of a hype around her marketing. And so people doing this speculation is literally boosting her marketing without her having to do anything. By just her not showing you the album cover, people are freaking out and hyping it up even more. And so she's just utilizing the things that she already knows she's going to have. And I think it's genius.
Yeah. And there's also the scarcity concept, right? Of the rule of psychology, because she's giving out little details at a time. And it's like that scarcity makes it valuable. So it's a masterclass if you can kind of build that kind of attention. So yeah, it's really cool. And now suddenly I give a shit about a Taylor Swift album, which is really
she's
impressive.
Done something right. You got to give her everyone I know is like, yeah, I know. I'm kind of weirdly invested now, and I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I'm like, I know she's genius. That's the summary.
It's solid. It's solid.
I love it.
Cool.
Okay.
What's next?
Next up, so we're going to talk about just super quickly. Our favorite kind of big brand right now. So, one of the big ones, and what right now, what are they doing right that's causing them to be your favorite big brand?
Okay. Are you going first or am I going first?
You go first.
Okay. I don't know that they're my favorite big brand, so I might have gone a little bit off the reservation on this, but it's something, and I want to give credit. So my buddy, Danny Rosen, who owns distributorship Brand Fuel down in Raleigh, and Danny is just a brilliant guy, but he sent this to me, and it's McDonald's. So McDonald's just released chicken strips, like not chicken nuggets, but like more, I don't know, they seem more tempting. Chicken strips just look more delicious than the nuggets of whatever that chicken material chicken nuggets are made of. But they made this announcement not with a big, huge national advertising campaign on TV. They did most of it with nano influencers. So they reached out to food influencers and sent them the new chicken strips and asked them to review them authentically, right? And sent them. And so these people did their things. And I think they for the most part, got pretty positive reviews about it because they were pretty good. But what was interesting is, and this is what kind of took off with it, is those did well. But they picked bigger food influencers. Well, then everybody else who fancies themselves a food influencer, maybe smaller ones, it's not expensive to go get chicken strips at McDonald's. So they all went and did the same kind of video for themselves. And I think that the video said that they got over 500 million views based on that across the platform. And I was like, oh, that is, and some of that you can't control. And I think that's why brands shy away from it. But I think they gave parameters and said, hey, do it on, do the video in this sort of way. And people did it, and it created a following. And then it created a second level of people doing the video that kept it going. And so I think you're seeing, had they done had that reach on TV, it would have cost way more money and no one would have cared. No one would have talked about it. They created something that people seem to care about. People were invested in it because they're like, hey, I can build my brand on top of McDonald's brand, right? We were just talking about attention. Right. And so I thought this one was really solid and really smart.
Well, and it's smart to ask for authentic reviews too, because sometimes the negative ones, then people are like, oh, I got to go try this now. Like, I got to see if it's good. Because it's funny because Taco Bell, on a similar note, did chicken nuggets or wings or whatever you call them. And I had only heard bad things. And so John was like, we're going to try them. You know that, right? And I was like, all right. And ironically, we really liked them. But because like, again, either way, you just got to get your opinion in there. When a lot of people are giving you their opinion, you want to form your own. And so I think I think it's super smart. I like it.
Yeah. And as a side note, one of the things that I made a note of here is how do small businesses tap into this? Right? Because you look at what McDonald's can do. Well, McDonald's does have a budget that I don't have. But I think that if you live in the food space, you probably know the influencers that are in there. And then if you're in the small business space, maybe it's like, okay, you don't start with bigger food influencers. You start with smaller ones. You have to do more research and you want to kind of dig out a little bit more. But I think there's a play there for small businesses too. And I think that's why I like the lesson, is because I'm like, oh, is there some way we could leverage this for our own thing? And I think whenever you've got that, then you've got a real lesson.
Well, and that's one of the things actually we were talking about the other day, is that having the ability to look at even just as simple as like a TikTok trend and finding a way to relate it back to your company and finding a way to make it help market your company, it's a skill. It's not something everybody has. And so taking a moment where you're like, oh, McDonald's did this. Okay, how do we get smaller influencers into our boutique? How do we get smaller influencers into our whatever company it is to do some type of video and just acknowledge how it is? Even as simple as Skylar posted a video going into the Coshocton Collaborative at one point when they first opened. And she said that like 4 people went because she had just posted a small video saying she was going for the day. And she said that somebody had texted her and said, hey, thanks for sending over. So even just as simple as one small video from one small creator can bring 4 new people in, and you never know. And Skylar did that just out of the goodness of her heart. And so it's just one of those where like, you never know what's going to make that impact. And so looking at those with a different view of how do we relate that back to our company kind of thing, I think is an interesting perspective.
Yeah, and so Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the people who he will search Instagram for local influencers, and so that you like Skylar. We talk about her having she's got quite a few followers, and so it's like, so you could, if you were trying to launch a small business in Coshocton specific to it, finding those local influencers to talk positively actually could have more impact than a larger person in that region. And so I don't know. I think there's something there that could be valuable.
That's a good one.
How about you?
I took a little bit different, not even different, but just, I guess it was a little bit different. So I frankly didn't have anybody that came top of mind. And so then I was like, dig in. I was like, okay, who do I love right now that's doing a good job? And the one that jumped out at me was Barbie, Mattel, I guess that you should say. Specifically with the way that they did the Barbie movie recently. I thought they did a really good job of kind of embracing the nostalgia vibes, right? Like we all grew up with Barbie dolls. We all loved Barbie dolls. They took a fun way to embrace the nostalgic vibes, still make it like a fun, kid-friendly movie, while also like addressing the concerns that is the fact that everybody needs to be a stick and perfect Barbie. Like they did such a good job of making it fun, and I'm just Ken, and like somebody sang that at the karaoke bar this weekend. So like clearly that movie impacted a lot of people, whether they wanted it to or not, whether it was the right market or not. But they took a like fun aspect and then still had like the one scene where the mother is talking about how women can't be enough and it's this and it's that. They did such a fun way of that, and I think it's kind of revitalized, in my opinion. It's revitalized Barbie and Mattel a little bit in my brain of like, now, like I was looking up for marketing girl sayings and there's one that's marketing Barbie. And like now suddenly, and we all suddenly did the AI trend where you wanted your own Barbie doll. Like I feel like they did a good job with that movie of taking something that we've known for years. Everybody knows Barbie, but like you knew it for 5-year-olds. And now suddenly the adults are like, I'm marketing Barbie. Like I'm marketing Ken. Like it became such a thing and it spread it so well. I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, that's good. They modernized it, I think, to a degree, and I think that's what you're saying. But I think the elephant in the room was the negative stereotype around that you have to be a Barbie in order to be this or that, and like addressing that in the script, you know, and literally talking about that in the movie. I think they did it at the right time in culture.
Yeah.
Right.
They did a really good, there's a lot of things in that movie that like, especially when you watch it, I've watched it 2 or 3 times now. I watched it the third time and was just like, oh, they put so much thought into this. Like that's so thoughtful and it's such a good timing. And who knows how much Birkenstocks paid, but it's hilarious because now she's wearing Birkenstocks. Like it's just the whole thing is so just like, oh, it's so good. I just loved it.
Okay.
So I was a fan.
I like that one. That's good. So I think that anytime you can take a brand and kind of modernize it, reimagine it, bring it back to the top of the forefront, you should do it. And, you know, it's funny, whenever I hear somebody say, oh, they were so thoughtful that with the movie, I'm like, gosh, I wish they all were. Right? So it's good to hear. Good to hear when they are. So that's cool. Okay.
So it's hilarious. We're going to go from sweet-hearted Barbie and how wholesome that was to the most random thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So our next topic is going to be kind of talking about specifically Gen Z TikTok is where I'm going with this, but Gen Z TikTok marketing. So I actually sent Kirby 2 TikToks before we did this so that he had some history or, you know, some idea of what I was talking about, because you have to know what's going on. 2 things. Number 1, if you have not seen the Nutter Butter and the Pine Sol TikTok, you got to go do that. Pause the podcast real quick and go look at what we're talking about. You got to have some context because you're going to look at it and go, what?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You sent it to me. I'm not sure I have any more context than before you sent it to me. I watched it, but I added a couple more words after what?
I was filtering for the podcast's sake. So it's essentially that they are just doing these very weird, very 2006 edits in my brain is what it's giving. They're so random. But what's funny is that they have 12 million followers. And people are commenting and like, I haven't thought about Nutter Butter in 12 years. I'm going to Walmart. So it's working. As weird and odd as it is, it's kind of working. And if nothing else, we're talking about it.
Yeah. Much to my chagrin, yes, we are talking about it. And here's the thing, you know, I just had this conversation. You were on the meeting and somebody said, well, I would never wear that. And I said to them, well, you're not the target market. So yeah. Right. So you know that. So I'm not the target market, clearly.
Correct.
Thank God, because I would put myself in a nursing home because my brain is gobbledygook. If that makes sense to me in any possible way. I don't get it at all.
I saw it described as brain rot marketing.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on it. But and your point about it having 12 million views, I at least want to legitimize. That's a lot, right? If that's a lot of views. I wonder, and I do think that there is some of this, and I've heard this about TikTok marketing, and I don't want to be a hypocrite to something I said earlier, that attention is the new currency.
Mm-hmm.
True. I have heard conversion rates on TikTok are not as high for a lot of things than other platforms. Now,
Yeah,
Nutter
I can see
Butters
that.
probably do better on TikTok than LinkedIn. So, like, I think it depends on the brand and all that sort of thing. But I wonder, that was my question. I wonder if I would be curious to hear a translation and how they can attribute, if they can at all, sales to
TikTok.
acid induced, like, weird ass AI creation marketing messages. Like, I got like,
Okay, so what's hilarious is clearly I'm the target market because I think it's hilarious. I think it's so funny. I giggled about it. The pine sol is honestly weirder to me, which is funny that the Nutter Butter is not as weird to me.
I watched them
But
in succession, and I wanted to go take a nap. Like, it was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my whole life.
it's so stupid and you feel dumber. My husband would be disappointed in me for saying that. I think it's funny. But
I'm
I think
glad
that's
I'm glad for you. I just
I
don't
think
get
more
it.
than anything, they decided they were going to do this. And what they get credit for is fully committing. Because if you're going to do that type of stuff, like you got to go all in because you can't half that kind of marketing. You can't do
Yeah, yeah,
two videos like that. They've got 200, so they
yeah.
get credit. It's the weirdest thing ever, and everyone should go watch it just to know what we're talking about and then to comment on our video when we post this and go,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with that. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We've given that way more time than I think it deserves. So cool. That's cool. Okay. So now I think is when we talk about our product of the. I chose it as a topic, and then the more, and just to my own defense, you were just like Gen Z marketing on TikTok. I was like, oh well, that sounds like that'll be interesting. And then you sent it to me like a half an hour ago. I was like, why are
That's
we
why I was so
contributing?
confused.
Why are we contributing to the lowering of intellect in our society? But okay, I'm glad you like it though. It's good. I love
I
that for
thought it
you.
was so weird that you chose that
Well, I
job.
didn't know what it was.
To be fair, I sent it to you this morning. I gave you a
Yeah.
chance to back out, and all I got was WTF. So I went with it. I
Yeah.
went with it. Anyways, product of the podcast. Here we are. Next up, we're going to talk about kind of the product of the week, product of the podcast, whatever you want to call it. This week, this is the glass jar candle with lid from our friends at Numo. So this is a candle, and that sounds obvious, but I didn't frankly realize that there were really nice candles in promo. I never really kind of correlated the two, frankly, and especially coming up on holiday season. But this candle smells so good that I took the lid off, and I need to put it back on. It's going to distract me because I'm going to sit here and sniff it. It smells so good. And I think the packaging on this, I don't have the box that it came in anymore, but you can even customize the box and stuff on this. I love that they did just like a fun message on the front of this. And I think that that's something to kind of take note on, is doing a fun message and maybe having your logo small on the bottom. But I just think these are really, really nice. 48 piece minimum, less than $15. And they have so many different options. This is just one of the containers that they come in. You can do huge ones, you can do smaller ones. And then frankly, they even have a sample kit so you can smell all the different scents. If you're thinking about doing it for the holidays and want to kind of figure out which scent you like the best for your team and stuff, we can get some of those in too. So I just thought that the candle was a really good one for this week, this time of year.
Yeah, I like it. And I think that, okay, the thing that I think about with this, well, we're going to lose you, I know. But the concept around, of course, the branding, the messaging that sits on the desk every day, right? Like, you're going to engage with that, whether you're lighting the candle, whether it's just sitting there, you just open it up, whatever. But I think sometimes we forget the five senses of marketing, right? And sort of the olfactory sense of, man, you can get warm feelings and warm, fuzzy feelings about a brand when you connect with it with more senses. Obviously, you get the vision, you get the touch, now you got the smell. And so I think it is a really interesting way to warm up the feelings around your brand for your team or for your customers. And so I think that's a good one.
Well, I think it's a good one too because office people, like, it'd be nice to have this on your desk if you work from home. Well, I don't know if people want this in the office, but if you work from home,
Okay.
like, I am going to like this here later. But even I saw one that was for real estate agents that either
Yeah.
for when you're selling a home, put this in the candle before we sell the house or like before we show the house, but also when you get a new house, here, light this candle in your new
That's
house. So I thought that was a really good one too. So just wanted to share that
yeah.
out loud.
That's a super solid. That's a good example. Cool.
So,
Okay, so that's our product of the week. And then as we always do, we do our shout out of the week. Our shout out, we try to push out some good each week into folks who are doing some good in the world. And we've got two this week. And they are around festivals that are going on this weekend. And it's kind of cool because there's two festivals same weekend. And I think sometimes, especially in a small community, but like you're like, oh gosh, I hate it when people do things on the same day because then you got to choose. But in this particular instance, the two festivals are partnering. You went to this last year when you were here in Coshocton, Jade. So we've got the Dog Fest, the Coshocton Dog Fest at Lake Park, and the Food Truck Festival at Roscoe Village. And you can walk between them. Like you can literally walk between the two. There's a path, but they also have transportation and it's a mile away from one another. You can drive. So I think it's really cool because it's like Dog Fest. You got the dogs jumping off into the water. You got the races that they do. It's a very obviously dog friendly atmosphere. So if you're into that, and then you got food and drinks in Roscoe Village.
And the dogs go with you to that for what it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to it last year and it was really fun. Highly recommend if you're going to be in the area or if you are looking for something to do. This is going to drop on Friday. That event is on Saturday. So tomorrow, come to Coshocton County.
I highly recommend going to the Dog Fest first and then to the food thing because then your dog can play and do all the fun things and get its energy out. And then Maverick just slept while we ate. We all ate. He was asleep under the table. He's like, I'm done for it, guys. So it was a really good one.
We got Maverick to jump into the water. We got him to do the chasing of the thing, and like we ran. Yeah, we ran him out. So it was really good.
Pictures of your puppies, the whole ordeal this time. So
yeah, it was a really great event. So go check it out or come check it out. You might see me there. Okay, so that is going to wrap up what we have to offer in this latest episode of the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. As we've said before, please check us out. This is brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. Our goal is to help you elevate your merch and your marketing. And I think one final time, right? This is the last time we're going to do the pre-show. We'd love to have you at our show. So if you want to register and be on the VIP list and get VIP goodies, register now at show.hassemanmarketing.com, and we will see you on September 23rd. Yay! Jade, as always, it's so good to chat with you. This is the highlight of my week, so thanks for doing this.
See you. Bye.